So today's video, the reason why I have no makeup on is because we are going to be doing a first impression / review of the Beauty Blender Skin Tint. I saw Mikayla talk about this and she said it was one of the best skin tints she's ever tried, so I was like, okay. Plus I've never tried anything from Beauty Blender besides the Beauty Blender. I remember their foundation, Tati used to love it, so I was like, okay, I've heard good things, I want to try it. We just got a new Sephora by my house and I went and bought it. Pretty sure I shade matched myself, so I hope it looks good. And I haven't opened it yet, so let's open it. Oh crap, how much was it? I'll put the price on the screen, but I'm pretty sure it was like 29 bucks. Like, it wasn't crazy expensive, but obviously, you know, it's still pricey. Okay, I'm having a hard time getting it open. What the hell? How am I supposed to open this? Okay, I just destroyed the box to open it, but all right, so it is the Always On Radiant Skin Tint. The Bounce Skin Tint is what it's called. It's supposed to be long wearing, weightless, buildable coverage, and brighten and hydrate. All sounds like great things. So here's what the bottle looks like. It's like soft touch. It is glass. It's got a squeezy dropper. I think it's really beautiful. The actual bottle says to shake first. That's good to know. Apply with a damp beauty blender, layering as desired. I don't think I'm going to use a beauty blender, but I do have a sponge, so we'll see. And then the box says it has a 12-hour breathable wear, a light medium buildable coverage, moisture boosting hyaluronic acid, and skin smoothing niacinamide. I use both of those things in my skincare routine, and I very much like them. Yes, it does say to use a beauty blender. So let's see. For primer, I did bring my, I'm at my boyfriend's by the way, so that's why I'm saying bring my. I'm gonna use my Fenty Pro Filter Primer because I feel like this is a very good primer regardless of like what type of formula I'm using, if that makes sense. Plus I've been using it for a while and I do enjoy it, and I don't think it'll interfere with the formula too much. I was gonna bring my e.l.f. Mint primer, which is very sticky, which I might try with it in the future, but I didn't want to do that for the first time in case it would like just not lay well with it. I don't really know. I just didn't feel like I wanted to do that. But I'm gonna put a good layer of primer. I did wash my face like 45 minutes ago and moisturize, but I'm gonna put a good layer of primer because I have a lot of pores. And this is a really good, like, not as good as my Tarte one for filling in the pores, which I wish I would have brought that, but it's okay. We're gonna see how this lays. And I just realized I don't have a mirror. That's cool. For the brush today, I think I'm gonna use a brush that I know a lot of people have for application, which is the Morphe. Okay, this isn't the one that everyone has, but it's a lot like it. This is the JH03, but Morphe makes a foundation brush very similar to this that I know a lot of people have, or something close to it, so that's what we're gonna use. Oh, and I got mine in the shade Light 4, so I'm gonna shake it up. I don't know how much to shake it. I've been so excited to try this, but like I just, excuses really, but I just haven't had the time. I don't really know how much to go in with, so I did a little squeeze and like that's how it filled up, and then I'm just gonna drop it onto the brush. And here we go. I'll start over here. I think the color is pretty spot on. So that's good. Always easier to judge when something is in the right shade. And I prefer to use a brush with things like this because maybe if I didn't have so much like redness and discoloration on my skin, I wouldn't mind, but I do have a lot of that I need to cover up. And using a sponge kind of takes away a little bit of coverage, so I try to avoid doing that, but I could see why that would be nice for someone with, you know, more even skin tone. So I'm putting a little more on my brush to go on the other side. It doesn't really have a smell that I've noticed. It feels very lightweight. The coverage is decent. I mean, skin tint, I would agree. It's going on the forehead. So it says it should have buildable coverage. So as you see, and I did like one layer on each cheek. So now I'm gonna go in with whatever's left from what I was gonna put on my forehead and see if we can build up over my redness. And I'm kind of stamping it into the skin so I don't get streak marks. Since it is a more hydrating formula, that's just like what I like to do. And then I'm probably gonna go over it with my sponge since that's what it suggests, because I still am seeing a tiny bit of streak marks, but that is common with, you know, formulas like this. So I already knew that that might be a thing. Okay, so this is how it looks before. Let me make sure I like got it everywhere because I'm using a really small mirror. This is before I go in with the sponge. You can see what my face looks like. I think it looks good. It's first impressions are kind of hard for me, especially with skin, like complexion, because you know, things sit, you try a different primer, you have a good skin day, you have a bad skin day. So I have my sponge right here. It is dirty, but it is the Laura Lee Los Angeles sponge, and we are gonna go over everything with it. I knew I felt a hair. And see how it looks. So I noticed a little bit of streaks on my forehead. I do this technique honestly like a lot. If I feel like my foundation looks heavy, go over it with a sponge. It helps blend it in better, especially like around my nose. I think it makes my skin look really pretty. I think it looks like skin. I kind of want to add in more. It doesn't have as much coverage as I was expecting. I will say that, but it is a skin tint, so it's probably because Mikayla has perfect fucking skin, and I saw it on her. That's the only person that I like seen use it. So I'm gonna try a little bit on the sponge. Why not? You know, we're doing a review here, and let's go back in on the cheeks because you know. Oh, it does go on great with the sponge. I was really not gonna. I guess I should have followed directions. Okay, it does build up a little bit. Nothing crazy, but as I'm building it up, it's not looking like gross. Like it's not getting cakey, so that's always a good thing. So I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side just so we're even. I'm just doing like that much, so not a lot. Because also we have to use concealer, and that always helps with the redness towards the center of my face too. Okay, I think it looks very good. I struggle with texture, and I don't think my face looks bumpy. I mean, you can see my pores obviously because I haven't used powder or anything, and that's also just how my face is, which is completely fine. Nothing wrong with that, but obviously makeup is always to try and fix imperfections. So for concealer, I brought concealers that I know I love. When I have an itch, I use my sponge. Do you guys do that? Sometimes I think about taking out my nose rings, but then I'm like, why would I ever do such a thing? They just make me get itchy a lot, but I also love them, so whatever. Okay, concealer. I brought my e.l.f. Camo Concealer in 2 shades because I don't have one that perfectly matches right now, and I brought my e.l.f. Boing Creaseless Concealer. I'm probably gonna do a little combination. And then I'll come back to set my face. BRB. Okay, so the concealer blended in with it really well. Sometimes concealers and certain foundations don't like mix well, I guess you could say. But I think it blended really good. It didn't like lift off or anything. I think I could use a little more concealer. Ah, Cheddar! Psst. He's gonna mess up my thing. Psst. Get down! Get down! Cheddar, no! Cheddar, please. Cheddar. Cheddar. Hey, hey, blend. Get. I'm gonna go over it again because it might have some creases from not setting right away. I'm using my Maybelline Fit Me powder, classic, in the shade Fair Light 10. That is one I always use. I'm gonna use my sponge because that is also normally how I set my concealer. So that is my eyes set. Give you a closer look. Didn't set the rest yet. And I brought, again, more powders that I know I love, which is my Laura Mercier. Oh. my sponge almost fell, which is my Laura Mercier powder and my Jaclyn Hill translucent powder. Now, I would use the translucent powder, especially when I go to work or I know it's gonna be like a long day, because that shit lasts. But I wanna look a little more dewy than I had. This isn't as dewy as I was expecting, so I don't know if I wanna go in with this powder and like mattify myself even more. So I think I'm gonna use the Jaclyn one, which has more of a skin-like finish. So that's what I'm gonna do. But I'll make sure that I keep in mind that this is the powder I use in case I get like super oily later, because this one is not the greatest for super long lasting. Like, it'll last, it won't break up or anything, but I will get more oily than I would if I used like my Wet n Wild powder or my Laura Mercier powder. Because I like to set my face, and I might look more matte right now, but like as the day goes on, I won't. So I have to keep that in mind when I do my makeup. So now we're just gonna finish the face and see how everything else lays on top of this formula. So far, so good. So far, so great, honestly. Now I'm gonna bronze my face using my beloved Milani bronzer in the shade 03 Suntan, in case you wanted to know. So the bronzer went on great. I'm happy with it. Now we're gonna go in with blush. I did bring a matte blush because I wanted to keep everything not matte, but I didn't want to do anything too shimmery because, again, I kind of want to test how this sits on my skin type because I know that I'll get oily within a couple of hours. So I brought my little mini Tarte Corky blush. I don't remember where I got this. Okay, again, blush went on great. So I'm going to highlight, do my brows, basically finish the rest of my makeup, and then I will come back and we will see how it looks. Okay, so I finished my makeup. Yes, I know I have a black dot. I was waiting for it to dry. Let me see if I can get it off. Okay, good enough. Anyways, oh, my eyes, I used this. If you'd like to see a look with this, if you don't know what this is the Jaclyn Hill Divine Neutrals palette from Morphe. It's my first time using it. I loved it. I did love it. I love the colors. You can't go wrong with this. But anyways, I think my makeup looks great. Specifically my skin from using the Beauty Blender Skin Tint. Let's give a one. Oh, I did set my face with my Morphe setting spray because, again, it's something I've used a lot. I mean, I think it looks really good. It is not as dewy as I was expecting. I do think that my ColourPop Pretty Fresh is a little more dewy than this is. So if you have super oily skin, you might love this. But if you have super dry skin, I would use a more hydrating primer underneath it. And I'm personally really excited to try with a hydrating primer underneath it to go for that more dewy look, or like something like a cream highlight or like a more shimmery blush. But I do like it. It laid really well. You can build it up. I think the color was great. They had a lot of colors when I was at Sephora. I'm very happy I tried it. I'm happy I bought it. I will be keeping it. I would recommend it, especially if you're maybe just getting into makeup or if you don't like super full coverage foundation, because I feel like people are kind of getting out of that. I've never loved like super heavy foundation. The most full coverage foundation that I probably wear is like the Catrice one or Makeup Forever HD that I used to use. I think skin tints and tinted moisturizers are the way to go. I think it's a good way to embrace people's skin, especially if like freckles or like beauty marks. And should I do an update? I'll try and do an update. But if I don't, I apologize. I'll just cut this out. I'll try and do an update and see like how it wears, because I have a feeling that like in an hour I'm gonna love how it looks, if you know what I mean. So yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I have 2 Instagrams. I have my main Instagram, which is vstokes15, which isn't really beauty related. I actually post a lot of my food content there though, if you're into cooking. And then my beauty Instagram is vstokesbeauty_, and then my TikTok is vstokes15. And yeah, if you'd like to, just see the shit I be posting, there you go. And again, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've tried this. Let me know your favorite skin tint tinted moisturizer product, because the next one I'm eyeing is that Smashbox one, the Halo whatever, that one, and the classic Bare Minerals. Oh my god, I was just organizing that at work yesterday. What is that called? Complexion Rescue. Those are the two that I want to try next. So yeah. Okay guys, I wanted to give you an update. Let me get this off my head. I look crazy. Of my face while the sun is still up. Outside. Oh, sorry, I'm also walking my doggy. Whoa, that's a big one. Okay, gotta go. Here's what it looks like. I think it looks great. And this is like 6 hours total later in a bathroom lighting. Wanted to show you guys. Definitely getting more dewier like I predicted, but still liked how it looked. And then this was like 10 p.m., which was like 8 hours later, and again, still dewy, but good. Okay, love you guys. See you in the next one.